Alright, hello everybody, Friendly Red here, back with another game recommendation. This time around, we're taking a look at Bionic Bay, the debut game release from developer Psychoflow Studio in Mureena, Oi. Originally scheduled to release back in March, the game saw a slight delay to April 17th, but has now graced the PC and PlayStation platforms with its existence. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed. I'm eager to share the details, so let's get into the video proper. This is Bionic Bay. Bionic Bay wastes absolutely no time getting you into the action, as it almost immediately thrusts you into the role of a lone scientist who is about to have probably the worst day of their life, after they're transported to a mysterious mechanical world after a research experiment goes awry. From here, you'll have to traverse this strange and dangerous land, trying to figure out where exactly you are and what happened to your colleagues, all while utilizing a surprising amount of speed and precision to overcome platforming puzzles and physics-driven environmental challenges. I say surprising, because I wasn't necessarily expecting there to be such a focus on those two elements. Judging from the trailers, or the one trailer that I saw before launch, I was kind of expecting this to be a bit more of a slower, methodical journey, with the focus being on exploration and puzzles, especially when you consider that you're just playing as a normal human scientist. But you know what? I'm actually happy to have been surprised in this regard, because Bionic Bay might have some of the best feeling movement I've played in a platformer so far this year. I'm not sure how or why this random scientist can schmoove in the ways that they are, but I'm not complaining, as they control great, making the simple act of moving around in the world enjoyable, and it's really fun to blast through the levels, chaining together dives and jumps to maintain speed and avoid all the deadly mechanical obstacles surrounding you. This is mainly just how I went through the game, though I imagine you could take it a bit slower and methodically if you wanted to. Regardless of your preferred playstyle, Bionic Bay is going to feel great, and it's a super easy game to pick up and get right into, which is so important to get right when it comes to making a good platformer. Of course, running, diving, and jumping aren't the only moves you'll be pulling off to get around in this world, as pretty early on, you'll gain access to a personal teleportation device, which allows you to link with an object in the environment around you, and swap places with it at a whim. Teleportation is always a fun ability to mess with in any game, and it's no different here in Bionic Bay, as it allows you to get out of tricky situations, reposition objects to your liking, building a new path or way to traverse a perilous section of the level, or clear out dangerous hazards that would otherwise block your progression. Usually bombs. There's a lot of bombs in this game. Just remember to be aware of your distance from whatever object you've linked to though, as if you get too far away from it, teleportation link will break, and you'll have to reset it. It's also possible that the swap won't connect due to a lack of space in the surrounding area, or you may end up crushing yourself on accident instead due to some funny physics interactions with your character and the object that you're swapping with. Even if you end up dying or getting stuck on a particular section, the good news is that the game really isn't punishing at all, as there are numerous checkpoints throughout each level, and recovering from a death is almost instantaneous, with a simple fade to black occurring before letting you try again from the most recent checkpoint. As you progress through the game, you'll gain access to a few more tricks you can pull off, and by the end, it gets pretty crazy and hectic, considering all the different things you can do. While I feel as though I should go over them, I also really don't want to spoil the surprises of what they are and what you can do with them, so I'm going to refrain from showing any footage of them in use here, even if some of the official marketing material and trailers don't exactly do so. And I'd recommend avoiding those if you want as pure and spoiler-free experience as possible. Taking all this into account though, the fast, precise, and great feeling momentum and movement, physics-driven gameplay and interactions, the teleporting swap mechanic, late game abilities, and the various environmental hazards and gimmicks you'll come across in each of the levels, it all adds up to a fantastically fun and inventive platformer, but one that really has surprised me with just how much I enjoyed it. And hey, on the topic of levels, My god, this game is insanely gorgeous. While the main characters are pretty obviously completely made up of pixel art, it's sometimes hard to tell if the rest of the game is, as the environments are super dense and packed full of detail. While I'm pretty sure everything in the game is made up of pixel art, I'm still not 100% positive if the game is fully based around the technique, which just goes to show the insane amount of skill and detail poured into the visual design. In addition, there's some great fluid simulations within some of the levels, and almost always a great amount of particle effects and interactions across each of the different mechanical sections and biomes you come across, really showcasing just how much effort and detail was put into even the smallest of, well, details. On top of that, the game has some truly striking usage of colors and shadows, with each level usually focusing on utilizing one color across it primarily, with the rest of the level being draped in silhouette-like shadows. Mixed with these really cool moments where the colors pop and take center stage, while the shadows fill out the rest of the scene, with a good balance of swapping between a silhouette focus and color focus as you go through a stage. If I had to compare it to anything, I'd say it's like Limbo, but if it decided to pull more than just the black, white, and gray colored pencils out of the container, or those cool silhouette levels you'd see in the DKC Returns games or Mario Wonder. But here, rather than being just cool one-off levels, you get an entire game focused around that kind of visual makeup, and it's such a treat for the eyes, and never not a joy to behold. With fast and fun gameplay, gorgeous visuals, a properly moody sci-fi soundtrack, and a light, albeit intriguing mystery and narrative behind it all, Bionic Bay delivers the goods. And that's without even mentioning the online speedrun mode, which allows you to compete against other players' ghost data, and try for the fastest times to complete levels and platforming challenges, which is said to get new events to partake in regularly, according to the store page. This is an incredibly strong first showing for the developers at Psychoflow Studio and Mureena Oy. Although, to be a bit more precise, this is Psychoflow's first game, whereas Mureena has had their hand in 2 projects before this one here, those being Badland and Badland 2. Before Bionic Bay, Psychoflow primarily has been responsible for the development of tools that can be utilized within the Unity game engine. It's great to see them take their work and talents even further, and develop their own game with the skills and knowledge they've gained over the years. And it's pretty crazy that, all combined between Psychoflow and Mureena, this is just a 3-person project. Bionic Bay is an impressive accomplishment, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. Given everything I've gone over, it should come as no surprise that I wholly recommend the game to anyone who enjoys platformers, or the sci-fi genre in general. It's a short, but very sweet experience, and I personally think it's one of the absolute best platformers you can play right now, and might just be one of 2025's best games on offer. Congrats on the release to Psychoflow and Mureena. Hope you see all the success you deserve, and needless to say, I'll be very curious to see what you all cook up in the future. Oh, and a wider release on more platforms, plus a physical release would be very much appreciated. Please and thank you. But, with all that being said, I think that'll do it for this video. If you made it to the end, I thank you for watching. Your continued viewership and support is greatly appreciated. Hope I was able to entertain, inform, and perhaps interest you into diving into the dangerous mechanical world of Bionic Bay for yourself. And last, but certainly not least, as always, I'll see you next time.